No, I'm just tired because I was up at like 3 a.m.
Well, don't.
Why were you up at 3 a.m.?
Because I was drinking with my friend last night, and I went to bed at 12, woke up at 3 a.m., shat myself in the toilet, and went back to bed.
Live on stream,
dignified.
me talking about how he shit himself.
No, I didn't actually shit myself. It's the figure of speech of I took a fat shit in my friend's toilet.
Are you gonna read us in?
Listen. Hello, everyone, and welcome to FMK Anime. I'm your
Let's
host.
see it in the VOD, you know. I'm gonna keep that in the VOD.
Good. Welcome to my legacy. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Limus and McCon. Say hello, you two.
Hello.
Hi.
You need more than that? Okay, hello again. Hi, I'm still here.
You gonna say where they can find you?
Oh, okay, I will. At that_Viking on Twitter. I really do nothing there. I tried to post more possums when I woke up today. There were no possums in my feed, and I was sad.
You can find me all over the internet, widely spread, and you can find all of where I am at limus.card.co. And yeah, I always find it weird that we plug our shit like immediately, but whatever, it's your show.
And you can find me on Twitter, though don't on Twitter at soul_cake777. But don't follow me if you're a minor, because I've been retweeting a comic lately called My Furry Stepsister. It is what it sounds like.
There is no confusion about what that is.
Maybe you gotta send me the sauce. I might be into that. Who knows?
I'll do it after stream.
Sweet, thank you.
You'd be in the kitchen
I've
saucing.
I've also been retweeting a friend of mine's art that he makes for a comic called Best Friends with Benefits. They do a lot of good art. Follow them if you're above the age of 18. But if you're not above 18, I will orphan you.
Yep.
Where can they find you, Lewis?
I already said, God damn it, Beep, you should have stayed up till 3 p.m. shitting yourself.
No, I didn't stay up until 3 a.m. I woke up at 3 a.m. violently needing to shit, okay?
Oh my god, what are we watching first?
Let us talk about Aquatope of White Sand first. In this, Aquatope of White Sand, episode 4, the Gamma Gamma gang work hard to set up for the touch pool, but a returning worker, along with some guests, recognize Fuka as a former idol. Her and Kukuru bond and become closer from this experience. The next day, they make way to the aquarium, where Fuka's mom is waiting for her.
I just want to say I really like the fucking Gamma Gamma gang.
Hell yeah!
You know, they them Triple G girls.
Hell yeah. Not the end of the episode. God damn it, phone. Not the end of the episode, but close to the end, where, like, Fuka is getting overwhelmed by the people that recognized her, and, like, everyone comes to her aid and starts helping her out. That was really sweet. I loved that scene.
Yeah, not just like the fucking travel manager helping out. It's just like, don't take photos of our staff without permission, or, you know, that's a crime.
That's illegal.
I just gotta say, the one dude that she runs into, I don't know if you talked about him in the recap, but yeah, there's another dude that shows up, and he's like a big Idol fan, and I just gotta say,
Umiyan.
He searches her up on Google's.
Oh,
Fucking hell! That's probably one of the dumbest ones so far.
Oh, don't worry, there's a couple other dumb ones in some of our other shows too.
Great!
This episode had a lot of small moments with Fuka that I really enjoyed. Like, the one boy turning on the TV and it going to the idols, and she sees her old coworker, and he just goes, "Oh fuck, what have I done?" and changes the channel.
The weather!
Nice weather we're having, fellow kids.
I honestly thought that in that scene when like the rest of the girls leave Fuka and the boy alone, I honestly thought in my mind, oh, the romance isn't gonna be between the two girls. It's gonna be between her and this dude.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then-
like, wait, are they setting them up? It kind of feels like with how nervous he seems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
same.
and then there's the scene at the end where the two girls are like touching each other on the face or whatever to like
Yeah.
do that, and I'm like, oh, never mind, we're back on track now.
Yeah, no, never mind. They
Yeah,
dashed those fucking ideas quickly.
I thought that was really sweet because with the touch pool, they were all talking about how you understand the animals more when you get to touch them rather than through words. And I thought it was really sweet when they just put their hands on each other's faces, and it's like, do you think you understand me more now? And it's just, oh, that's so sweet.
It is sweet, but it's also corny as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Kukuru pogged in this episode.
When you
I
posted
have
the
the
screenshot,
pog.
I'm like, I'm like, that's not a pog. Then I watched the scene with the noise she made. I'm like, wait, no, that is a pog.
I fucking loved it. I took that screenshot. I'm like, oh my god, she just pogged.
That's the one I've been using for now.
Yeah, this episode was just really sweet, really light, really fluffy. Like I love seeing these characters interact, and the scene where she sees the worker who broke his back, who's just like trying to chase her to clear up the mistake. She's just like, Creeper! Rides behind
Fucking creep.
Yeah.
It's still just like, yikes, poor guy.
Yeah, I'm happy the show didn't go the route that any other show would do, where they just keep shitting on him, being like, "Oh no, you're a creep."
He's not even a creep. He's just a fucking fat guy who means well.
Yeah,
I know.
He's just a dude who like happens
a
to
nice
be into
guy.
idols as well.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy whose his hobbies might be a bit creepy by other people's standards, but otherwise, I mean, he's just generally nice and caring about other people.
He gives me Ghibli stepdad energy. Like I haven't watched any Ghibli movies, but I've seen enough of their art style and the dads from those movies to kind of have a feel for it.
I mean, it kind of just gives me, like, you know, cool uncle that you don't know anything about, but just kind of shows up and just like, yo, I'm just generally chill and nice to be around.
I don't know, I liked this episode, and the fucking after credits too got me really. Next Thursday cannot come quick enough. Like I'm intensely curious to see how this goes with her mother.
That is an interesting setup to see what that entire interaction there is going to be about. I do have to say as well, with all the fucking screenshots I took this time, this show's landscape shots are fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah. I don't have any in here because I kind of wanted to focus more on the characters, but there are some
It is fair.
great landscape shots.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a widespread and such fantastic shots, and like as much as when I like kind of thought about it when I made the comment in my notes about, I mean, the show really likes using music slideshows with music over it, and that's a thing. But damn if it doesn't make for some fantastic screenshots.
Yeah, and I do really like how the blonde guy is kind of into DILFs. It kind of hints.
Nah, he's just happy to have a guy around which he can talk to again.
Fair enough.
Because the guy just can't talk to women.
I guess it's just with everything we've got of him and like how he's just super gay. I'm just like, when he's like, I've been waiting for this moment, I'm just sitting here like, okay, buddy.
Yeah, no, to me it's just like, finally, someone I can talk to. I'm not all alone.
And I do really like the guy too. He's sweet. He's one of the first like take over the attendant job, and even in that scene, Fuka had a really good scene where she's like, no, I want to be an attendant, but I just got overwhelmed. Oh, 1 second.
Yeah, no, I also enjoy him myself he's kind of like the laid back, very tired, kind of snarky guy, but he also kind of means well in his snarkiness. He seems to be a lot more high energy and outgoing around guys. He just tends to be more snarky around women by the looks of it, because he's really fucking happy and jovial whenever he's hanging around guys. Which, I mean, for some people, I mean, there's something about having a phobia about women, which I'm kind of starting to think. I don't think he's gay. He might be, but I think he just is that he has a phobia for women.
He and the fish have entered an uneasy alliance against women.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I admit I really feel with this dude because like the way this dude's around guys is exactly like the way how I feel like when I'm around someone I know I like versus everyone else in the world.
I mean, same. Whenever I'm talking to people online, it's usually because I'm only talking to people I want to be friends with, which means I'm always the outgoing kind of guy I am. But I am even more of a kind of snarky cunt than he is when I'm not.
Yeah, it's like I've made a point accidentally to make it so that I basically give everyone I don't know the death glare.
Oh,
I mean, that's not a good thing to do. Though I get you, because I kind of just do that on accident because I have resting bitch face.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like, it was a thing that I did on purpose when I was in high school, and now it's just like, oh, I'm just stuck like this now.
every time I would come up to your lunch table, you just sit there holding an invisible gun to me.
I'll fucking kill you.
Nah, that wasn't you. That was the other person. I think I pissed off most people in that friend group.
Yeah, you
Anyway.
did. Anyway, moving on from high school trauma.
I do want to touch on my issues with this episode. There's something about the media that the lesbian relationship doesn't do anything for me because it doesn't fall in line with my sexuality and or my interests in anything. So it's kind of just, it doesn't do it for me in the same way a straight relationship would do. But at the same time, I can appreciate the cuteness of people finding their feelings for each other, but I still think the speed that they went from being essentially hostile to making up and then basically making out in the fucking closet at work, it was fast as fuck.
Well, I was joking, like being like, oh, they're girlfriends, but this is just, it's a very common thing in places that aren't America for people to be more intimate with their friends. I definitely think that there's...
I know, because I don't live in America, and hugging and, like, patting or, like, doing stuff like that is common where I live. But the way they were touching each other is not a very friendship way of touching.
Yeah, that's like the way that it's coded and shown and everything. It's like this feels like we know where we're going here.
Like, they were talking about, like, oh, I want to get to know you better, and oh, I want to get to know you better too, and they were like, because there was the whole corny thing with their hands on the face of going like, oh, when you touch a creature, you get to understand them more, and I definitely think, like, there's probably some romantic feelings there somewhere, but I think it's still building up the friendship first.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of glad... Sorry.
In my opinion, when they said, like, oh, I want to know more about you, that's essentially a fucking confession of, I love you. Because it's essentially what it is. Because it is... Saying that about someone you simply want to be friends with is not something that really happens. That is more a thing you say about someone you are feeling romantic feelings for, even in other cultures. Because... just otherwise they would say I simply wanted to become better friends with you. It would be a lot more clearer, but leaving it ambiguous leaves it clear that there is other feelings on the table from both of them.
I've said that to plenty of my friends who have, like, I think that's a thing that, at least for me, that I say to friends that I barely know anything about. Like, for example, me and Limus know each other pretty well, but, like, some of my online friends I I've said in the past, like, hey, I want to get to know you better because we barely know anything about each other and we are friends, so we probably should get to know each other a little bit better.
Right, but that is different. Instead of confessing that the reason why you went through all this trouble and all this work is to become closer to someone and getting to know them better, that is a statement of romantic affection that you would go so far and do so much for a chance to be closer with them.
I think it's affection. I don't think it has to inherently be romantic.
I guess not, but I mean, hey, the fucking blushing and face touching and being about 2 seconds from Frenching each other kind of insinuates that.
Yeah, but she from Super Cub was always super blushy with Koguma and Reiko.
All of them were always super blushy because that's kind of just how they're drawn.
Yeah, and like there's, well, I think that's also a style thing with this show too. A lot of the people in it are just always really blushy.
Not as blushy as they were there, and at the same time with the Super Cub, they were never touching faces, confessing their feelings for each other. And it's just, I don't know, I think it went kind of fast, and it feels like, even if it's not romantic yet, it kind of feels like it was an odd way it kind of sped up and just went like, alright, back closet smelling like fish. Here's where we'll confess our feelings of how we actually feel about each other and the fact that we want to be better friends. It's just okay.
Well, it's not a closet. It's like it's a work break room.
That wasn't the break room. That was just like a place with sinks and buckets and shit where, yeah.
And once again, as said in the chat currently, and as I've been sitting on for a while now, it doesn't have to just be romantic. Like, this doesn't necessarily have to mean it's romantic attraction or whatever. It totally could just be becoming closer friends by touching and shit.
Right, yes, I can see the point of that, but at the same time, is that really the feeling you get from this?
But at the same time, this is Japan. I doubt the fucking split attraction theory is very well known there. Hell, it's barely even known in the Western society, so, like, probably not. So probably they are gonna just fucking... This is romantic. And this is also a romantic show, so probably.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I'd like to say that this is not, and this is something else, but doubt it.
I mean, as much as, like, the thing would be interesting to see, I doubt a show with the romance tag is going to be about being aromantic.
I doubt it's going to be just like, hey, let's just have a good, nice platonic relationship with each other that's really close. No, they're going to be fucking by the end of this. Well, I shouldn't say fucking. They're going to be dating by the end of this.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not. I state your original statement. They're going to be fucking in the back shed of this fucking fish shop.
Like I said, I think it's just currently building up their friendship before they go heavy, balls deep into the romance angle.
No balls.
Either
way, I just wanted to bring up that point because regarding my personal taste about it, I feel like it's a too fastly paced for how relationships really develop and how strangely they go from hostile to affectionate.
I mean, they were never hostile. They were never hostile with each other. Like, Kukura has that one moment where she kind of snaps at Fuka, but, like, it's not hostile because they're
yeah, okay, maybe it's neutral, but it was leaning towards hostile, if anything.
I'm just gonna say that we have two rushed romantic relationships in this season, and I'm gonna get to that one when we get there. This, I feel, is not rushed compared to another episode we have.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I think I'm gonna disagree with you, but we'll get to. I've said all my points about this, though. Do you guys have anything else to bring up?
I liked how paced this episode was. This was like the opposite problems I had with last episode. Like, it felt like a lot of things happened that actually mattered and revolved around our characters and that actually expanded characters. Unlike last time, which it was just a baby happens. I don't know, maybe her mother died with birth. Who knows? Like, shit happened. It happened at a snappy pace. I don't know. I like this one a little bit more. I feel like the pacing was definitely way better. And, like, I get where you're coming from, McCon, with their relationship being sped up a little bit. But I'm glad, because it means I get something to fucking suck on and, like, actually think about throughout the episode, instead of it being nothing and no bullshit ever happening. And just being bland like the last episode.
I mean, the entire episode was well paced, in my opinion. It's just their relationship, not in this episode, but through the entire series so far, has been odd in how it's progressing, in my opinion. But that might be us skipping along the days a bit, because she's been here for a while.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's been about a month that they said she's been there.
And I just can't wait until, like, episode 14 when we get to see the cute girls kiss.
Ah, yes, after the FMK.
Yes.
No.
Listen, I'm aware the show. I'm aware the show is going to run into next season.
No to that kissing on the FMK. That's illegal. Twitch will take us down.
So, are we ready for cards?
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck this episode. I really dig the show. It's definitely my, like, it is my relaxing show. Like, I know last week I said Duke of Death I watched to relax, but that's Duke of Death is a relaxing show for me, but that's not the show I watch to relax. I messed up my words last week. This is the show I watched to relax. It's like after a day at work, I put this on. It's like, okay, let's mellow out and let's just go on the ride. It's pardon the pun, but it's like a wave. It's just waves.
The pacing of the relationship really fucks with me. I don't know what I find so strange about it, but I didn't like how it was done for whatever reason, and I can't quite figure out what the point of that is. Maybe it is just the corniness of the scene, or just the general fucking pace I thought it was handled at, because I mean, to me, they just fucking admitted their romantic feelings for each other. I'm like, all right, so are you dating now or not? I don't know. I'm gonna fuck the episode because, and maybe they'll figure it out and make it better for me. But I'll be perfectly honest, it's just because I want another show to die.
All right, so this was a weird episode for me. Because I'm not sure if it was the general mood that I was in when I went into it, or if the show actually improved for me, but I thought this episode was cute, and I think it was the best one we've seen so far of the show. Because, like, it felt like it used the scenario that we've been presented in the setting, I should say, that we've been presented with the aquarium. We're using the scenario that's been presented with Gamma Gamma's gonna fucking close at some point. We need to figure out how to stop it. We got them executing on that. We got some payoff with whatever brown-haired girl is and her idol stuff. Like, we got people being assholes to her because it's like, oh shit, failed idol at an aquarium? Drama. And we got some advancement with the relationship of the main girls. So, yeah, like, there was a lot in this episode that's like, okay, we're getting some payoff to what we have set up. Like, it's nice, as opposed to the last one, which just felt like, we're having a pregnancy episode now. This girl's going to splooge a child out in the middle of the stage. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna fuck this episode for now. I don't think the show's gonna win me over. Maybe the show is winning me over. I don't know. I have weird feelings about this episode.
That is a trifecta for Aquatope of White Sand, episode 2. Or episode 4. Let's move on to Itaden Deities and the Peaceful Generation, episode 3. The demons decide to attack and eliminate the Itaden, sending their two strongest, But Rin eviscerates them with ease. Easily says the demons are hiding, like him and Rin's first apprentice. He steals the demon's head and decides to pay a visit to Prontia, Rin's first apprentice. Not Rin. Easley is a bit of a cryptic fuck, I've realized.
Yeah, I just want to correct you, Meep. They didn't send two of their strongest. I said one of their strongest and a guy that just was there for support.
Oh, okay. I thought he was supposed to be super strong too.
No, that's why it was Nickel and the red-haired demon girl is the only ones that are really on the same power level as each other, from what I understood.
Okay.
So he was just a guy with a sniper rifle there to provide backup, and
because from what at that.
Kind of saying, yeah, from what he was saying, Easley was a bit too smart to not go outside of Rin's reach because he wanted to be able to back up. But if he did that while they could still see him, he was probably pretty sure that Easley or Paula could probably kill him, if not Hayato if he woke up.
Okay. I actually didn't realize that Nickel. Because I went back and watched the ending. I'm like, that's weird. One of the characters that was heavily shown in the ending died this episode. I went and I watched the ending. Oh, that's not Nickel. It's General Girl, Vor Girl, and then a different one that we haven't seen yet. That's interesting.
Yep. Yeah. Nickel's fucking dead, at least for now.
Maybe she is. Who knows? She might just be a living head now.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe she gets another body as like an Itaden or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'm fucking confused.
Yeah. Also,
and yes, Easley is a cryptic fuck, but I enjoy that. I want to see what the fuck that's all about.
I'm sort of here or there on it right now. It's nowhere near as bad as Josh from fucking what show is it again? World Ends With You, where it's like we obviously know what he's about, but at the same time I'm just not the warmest on it right now. I'll probably warm up to it when we get more from it. But yeah. I still relatively I enjoyed this episode. It was pretty action packed for the most part, but it was still fun.
Yeah, I think Prontia is definitely doing something weird, and Easley's just being an agent to try to, deal with that.
I mean,
help him out.
I think Easley is more than just an agent, because Prontia said that by Easley's theories and experiments, he has developed something akin to magic. Like we saw him summoning the fire, and that was apparently something Easley thought up.
Yeah, it's weird. And this episode also kind of made me think the show might go in a bit more of a slice of life direction than actual action, because it seems like
How? In what way?
It seemed like the demons were pretty disheartened, what the fuck do we do? There's this one person that could just slaughter all of us.
Well,
at least for a couple episodes, I think it's going to go a bit more of a slice of life isn't the right word, but I don't think it's going to be super action. I don't think it's going to be really action oriented.
I got the feeling that they're going to do some way to get Rin out of the picture, so that we're just going to have to rely on our main three Itaden, because obviously Rin's overpowered. They're going to have to do something with her at some point to get her out of the way.
Yeah, I think my theory of how the story is going to progress is that Rin is going to get sealed somehow, or somehow die by an outside force, or be preoccupied holding off something else, and the entire demon force is going to try to kill off the three other Itaden, who is either going to have to join up Easley in his organization or whatever he's dealing with, or go and interact with Prontia and kind of learn from them, or use Easley's kind of theory to learn new powers that Rin couldn't teach them, like, say, magic, like the other guy did.
See, what I'm assuming is going to happen is next couple episodes are going to be more not laid back, but not super action oriented. We're going to keep getting these hints of what Easley and Prontia are doing, and then it's going to be revealed that the actual villains are Prontia and Easley, who are controlling Dr. Obami, who are controlling the demons. That's just kind of where mine thinks it's going to go.
It's possible, and while Easley said that, oh, they're hiding like us, I think that's supposed to hint at them being demons, but I think it's as simple as they're hiding like us because Easley and Prontia are pretending to be human.
I don't know. I think we're thinking too much about this plot at this point.
Maybe, but it's fun to speculate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My opinions of this episode was, I thought that was a rad fight. I really liked that fight.
That was a really fucking cool fight.
Like, just like, Rin gets speared through the neck by one of Nicole's tentacles, and she just pushes through to headbutt her. That was rad.
I always just loved seeing Nicholas like, oh, this character is just a fucking psychopath that's gonna be laughing all the time. You're seeing her constantly just get enveloped with fear, because just like, why isn't this working?
Yeah, it was so good. I like Nicole as an antagonist. Like, I hope we get more. Like, I hope all of the demons that we've seen around at our sort of roundtable meetings, I hope they all have like really cool and interesting personalities and powers, kind of like Nicole did.
Yeah. And I hope it just doesn't evolve to everyone just being tentacles but human.
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna mix it up.
I can see that becoming a pattern, but I hope it doesn't.
The one sadist demon who's really heavily like shown in the ending, and like with the ending and Easley, I think she's probably gonna at some point. This is gonna sound weird, but I think she's gonna defect to the Itaden, because she seems like the kind of character to be like, I'm gonna join the winners. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, I would say kind of have my own theory about someone defecting, but it's not her. It's the blonde general girl, because I can see her kind of defecting just by being fed up with the place she's in. Because like when she was actually at the table and everything, she was just being kind of bullied by everyone in there.
Yes.
You mean the girl that threw the tank?
Yeah, because she was like, oh, why don't you fucking give us some more demons, huh? And just kind of generally dunking on her.
Yeah, that's who Meep's talking about.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the sadist girl who the fucking, with the, like, the cover art where everyone's, like, on her tongue.
No, the sadist girl is in the girl that has all those facial things when she was about to throw the tank. It's just like, it just followed her face. It's like, oh, this girl likes to step on people.
Ah, now I see what you mean. Yes, so we're on the same side of that. Yeah, I do think she's going to defect. Not just because, like, fuck you, I'll join the winner. I think it's just that she's going to get fed up with how the demons are fucking treating her.
Yeah, fair enough. She just gives me the vibes of someone that's like, jump ship.
Yeah, I could see her doing that, but also, it's gonna be that, thing. Where it's that thing where it's like, also, you're a fucking Nazi. We're not gonna forget that you're a fucking Nazi.
Well, here's the thing. We've labeled them Nazis. They're not Nazis. They're random fucking...
Nazis!
She's a horrible she's a horrible person that has been the, not direct cause, but has endorsed these horrible actions.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just the same of just like the... We can't just apply the blanket statement of they're Nazis, so okay to kill them, because a fantasy fucking soldier company, or not Nazis or Empire or whatever, so not able to apply that. And also, you can kind of apply with whatever these soldiers have done to literally any fucking military in the world.
True. But also, differences is that we've seen it. And also, they're practically wearing Nazi uniforms.
Also, she's an actual demon.
And she's an actual demon who deadass wears Nazi, like, SS attire.
I mean, here's the thing about her. I'm not sure she is a demon. I'm thinking she might be an Itaden.
You think? Okay, that's what I was thinking at some point. That
she's not formed, and she's not used any demonic power. She's used more what's akin to the Itaden doing, being superhuman strength and a lot of speed and durability.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that was my thought when I first saw her, actually, was that, like, oh, these guys are just, like, defective Itaden that maybe got, like, you know, pulled out of the whatever light balls that they get pulled out of in order to be born. And then just went, okay, I'll fight for these guys, because fuck it.
I guess Dr. Obami does have the power to change demons' memories, so he might have the power to change Itaten's memories, too, so I guess that...
Then again, I'm thinking she might have joined up secretly without his knowledge of her not being an Itaden, if that's the case, because the doctor was extremely confused about the biology, physiology, and abilities of the Itaden when he spawned them.
True. Listen, this is some 7D chess shit that's happening here.
But it's so interesting to fucking think about. The show is simple in its appearance so far, but there is so much speculation of what we can talk about that might or might not happen that all seem plausible.
A lot of my theories are kind of based on meta knowledge too, like seeing the ending and how those characters were presented. So it might just my theories and thoughts might be a bit unfair, but
at the same time, I didn't even consider the blonde girl in the demon squad because of the ending. I'm just like, wow, she's getting treated like shit.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Makan. I think you're hoping for way too much out of this show. I think you're walking the path that will end in disappointment.
I might be, but here's the thing as well. I locked this show because I thought it was going to be stupid Dragon Ball Z shonen fun. And it's kind of shaping up to be more than that, but if it's just that, I think I'm still going to have fun if the fights are as cool as the one with Rin was.
I loved the fucking scene where they're just like, Nickel's dead, and then the red-haired Empress goes to the fucking blonde girl, your turn?
You fucking what? It's so good. Like, you want to go next?
It's so fucking stupid. Oh, also I know I've talked with it a little bit off the FMK, but that one shot of Rin going gross is such a good reaction image.
It's so good. I'm like, yeah that's a great reaction image. I'm screenshotting that.
I gotta. Sorry.
I was gonna say she's looking to whatever post is above it and saying gross. Perfect.
Yep.
I gotta say, so far, best girl of the season, Rin. I'm gonna lobby for that this whole season.
I like Rin, although she definitely isn't my type in both looks and personality, but I really do like her.
Yeah, I just as a fucking as waifu word, maybe not, but I do love her personality and how she's acting. It's great.
I didn't say waifu. I said best girl.
Kind of a different way of saying the waifu word.
Wait, I thought there was a best girl, best boy category as well as the waifu award.
that's why the waifu/respond award is.
Oh.
You might be thinking of best main character or best supporting character. And that's not restricted to best girl. That's just who is the best supporting character. If you think the dog from Fullmetal Alchemist is the best supporting character, hell, go for it.
Okay, yeah, I just still don't know the awards yet.
Still, I mean, either way, awards might get changes depending on what we feel like doing about it. Regardless, the show and everything with Eastleigh and Protea, I mean, I'm very interested with that, and I'm very interested to see how we build a challenge with the demons we have, because they've said that the room there was the strongest demons. Nickel and the red-haired girl was the strongest demons among them. If there's going to be more demons unearthed, or if Rin is going to be sealed in some way. I mean, another way would also be to break the seal that Rin is guarding.
Yeah, I think that seal's gonna get broken, and she's gonna be like, I'll just clean up this mess. You children go along ahead, fight them without me. I'll be here.
You think we're gonna get a Devilman Crybaby ending?
I'd fucking love it if we did. I think that'd be funny. Like, Honestly, I could see that. I could see the Itaden being that, like, blind to humanity.
Rocks fall, everyone dies.
It's just like,
Alright.
okay, we fought. Oops, we accidentally wiped out humanity in our fighting. Oops.
I mean, I feel like some humans are gonna die in the wake of their fucking fighting, but at the same time, like Isa described it, they have no real concern. It's just as long as they exist in some extent.
Yeah, and as we've seen, especially in this episode 2 with Rin's flashbacks, the original Itaden also seemed to just be incredibly stronger than any demon.
Oh yeah, like
Oh yeah.
the way she said, like any fully grown Itaden would never lose to a single demon, no matter how strong.
But, I love that. I also love the scene. Like, there's just a lot of great combat beats in this episode, and like just like having it end with Nicole making her final plan, and then she's like, "I've frozen. Why?" And she's just like, "Oh yeah, it would be cool if I had froze power." No, you're just dead and you don't know it yet. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, just like, well, Grandpa had a way of paralyzing, but I mean, it's quite simple why you can't move. Your head isn't attached to your body anymore.
I also love the scene where the guy's just talking to the other demons, and then Rin appears, and it just cuts to the other demons, and you all just hear screaming.
He's like, wait, no, stop! Ah! That cuts off.
That's great. Are we ready for cards, gentlemen?
I'm ready for cards.
I'm ready.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm gonna fuck this show. I am so happy the show is going in a direction that it's going in a much better direction for me than episode 1 made it think. Like, it definitely was partly the tone shift that made me have such a reaction to episode 1, but just it's keeping the same tone consistent, and it's consistently funny. I'm gonna fuck it.
I love how this show doesn't shy away from being brutal in its tone and setting, as well as just the visceral, like, lethalness of the fights. I love it. And the show in general, and the mystery they're setting up, and the things I want to find out, and just the characters along, it's great, and I love it. And I want to see more, so I'm fucking it.
This show's gonna be rad. I'm super down for it. Like, it's looking to be fun, visceral bullshit action, and I am here for it till the end. Hopefully. That's a fuck from me.
Trifecta for Itaden Deities, episode 3. Let's move on to the case study of Vanitas, episode 5. Charlatan gropes Noe, showing us his past and how he, Dami, and his friend Louis grew up together. Louis was a curse bearer, and one night when the kids tried to sneak a curse bearer away, Louis had to rescue them, but he succumbed to it himself, attacking Noe and killing all of the other kids, but Dami. The teacher saved Noe, and in the present, just when Noe is about to give Charlatan his true name, Vanitas intervenes. So I feel like this episode kind of confirms Noe is bi, not gonna lie.
Definitely, and also just this for this episode in general, I just want to say, fuck.
This is the best flashback episode I've ever seen since Fullmetal Alchemist with Ed and Al trying to bring back their mother. I'm laying that on the table, hands down, best one I've seen.
I think it's probably better than that.
This was really well done. It was extremely well done. Like, talk about, like, a great way to set up a character that we have no prior idea of, like, and get us attached to him, and then kill him off in such a way that, like, makes you feel something. It was excellent. Wonderful execution.
It's such a painful experience for Noah to go through, and it's such a powerful motif they put through with it, and it at least for me maybe had a visceral fucking reaction to it, how much it showed the torment of all the characters going through this horrific scene in the moments prior to it, the desperation of trying to do something, the abject terror of when Louis fucking died, and just the exhausted, cried out expression of both Noe and Dami afterwards, and just the Noah's reaction to just receiving the box full of steaks, showing just how fucked Louis was in the head the entire time.
Just seeing
God!
him carve, and just knowing that, oh, he's making steak. Why is he making a steak? Oh, this boy's going through some shit right now, isn't he? Oh God.
And that scene, that scene with him and Dami on the bed was so good, although it was undercut by a joke. But I won't talk about that. I love that scene still. Like, just the don't talk like that. You know how much people love you, and one day you'll understand. Just that was such a heartbreaking scene.
I just gotta fast forward a little bit to the scene where Louis gets his head cut off. I like how you get the visceral / the sound of blood silence, and we just linger on the moment for a bit, and then the head falls, and then it's the reveal of what the teacher is. It was just really well done.
Yeah,
a lot of impact to that scene.
And the reveal of the teacher is, I don't think the teacher is the charlatan. I just think the teacher is a terrifyingly strong vampire.
Oh yeah, like just. Because it shows the teacher, and I think it was more showing how Noe viewed him in that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Just a wretched, twisted demon who just killed one of his only friends, and probably one of the people he loved. One of the people he definitely loved. In one way or another. And his reaction of choking on his tears and almost vomiting at the scene and trying to hold it in. Oh, Jesus, fuck, it's so good.
It was so strong. And that entire sequence, like ever since like the one little girl killed the boy, Louis comes in, rips her head off. This episode was so visceral, it had to start with a disclaimer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
the big Funimation disclaimer saying there's some brutal shit in this episode. Be warned.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of webcomics that get pretty fucking brutal, and most of them have that, so I'm a bit desensitized to it. But like, an anime having a disclaimer for violence, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, like
I even wrote in my note like, oh no, this is not gonna end good, is it?
Like, it's not the most brutal I've seen something. Like, I've definitely seen more visceral and brutal things happen, but those are in shows that aren't nearly as lightly... Okay, the show does have a dark tone, but, like, what I'm saying is those are in shows that are already set up to be extremely dark.
It has
grim dark. Those shows are already grim dark. This show has a lot of light moments in this dark world and these dark subject matters, but when it really gets into it, God, is it heavy.
Like the whole pacing and like the way this episode is laid out, like we start with these lovely slice of life bits with Noe, Dami, and Louis, and we just get to really care for these characters and like see them grow up together and see how good friends they are. Also see like them sort of demonstrating Noe's mind reading ability, whatever, with, by the way, what is the most adorable scene of a vampire sucking someone's blood I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it just
is so cute.
In the hand, and it just it's all me. And it's just like, wow, okay.
There's all this adorable stuff, and then it gets serious, and then you see like, and he's starting to like, carve the steaks, and it's like everyone's acting like it's the same, but no, something's wrong. Something's fucking wrong. And then we get hit with just like child murder left and right.
I can't tell at what point in the episode it happened, but at some point Louis' eyes just kind of became dead.
Oh yeah, and there's like a scene where the two of them are talking, and like you see that there's just like there's no pupils, there's no nothing. Like it's just the eyes.
At some point that change happened, and I could not tell where it was. I just noticed it eventually.
Yeah.
It was such a gradual transition into that, and at that point when he was beyond the point of saving without the Book of Vanitas, it just spiraled and became worse and worse and worse.
Okay. I do have to say I have one complaint about this episode. And I feel like this is slightly eased by the fact that, oh, okay, this is supposed to be charlatan, like in the visage of his master. Of his teacher, I should say. But I thought the design of the teacher at the end there was awful. I hated it. Like, it just screamed my first edgy OC that I posted on Tumblr.
But yeah, like me and Asad and I agree with, like, I think it's just Noah's perspective of his teacher, seeing him as nothing but a horrid monster that just murdered his best friend, is if not the man he loved.
Murdered his best friend and his own grandson.
Yeah.
This episode set up his teacher as kind of a chaotic force that doesn't care about good or wrong, and was more observing Louis and how everything happened.
Yeah.
And maybe his teacher is the charlatan, but if what Noah has been saying is true, and him being told to go seek out the Book of Vanitas, not to retrieve it, just to experience what it is, essentially, I don't think the teacher is the charlatan. But I think I could agree with you, Loomis. Like the teacher was kind of in the appearance of the charlatan because the charlatan was the one who made Noe experience all of this again.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like, I was just worried that this was like, that this is who this character is, and this is what he looks like, and he looks like some like 13-year-old girl's Tumblr OC, and I just don't like the way it looks. I just hate it.
I mean, we've seen the teacher before. He's a sharply dressed blonde man with a top out. It's nothing more than that.
We never saw above his eyes, though. I mean,
Yeah,
we never saw like above his like chin, basically. So I'm thinking, was this supposed to be a reveal? Does he actually look like a monster or whatever? I don't know. Like I said, minor gripe.
I don't think that should be the case because all the other vampires aren't.
I also think it's their I think it's their clever way of showing him without showing his actual design, as well as showing him in the way that Noe perceived him in that moment. Because they're trying to keep him as this mysterious figure that we don't know what he looks like. And I think they were still keeping that like that motif. We still don't know what he looks like, but that was the way Noe perceived him. And I thought that was done in a really good way.
Yeah. And I also want to touch on the scene where Noe, having experienced all his life trauma in probably the matter of seconds within the grasp of the charlatan, or probably minutes more like, being about ready to give over his name to meet Louis again, the greatest loss of his life, Vanitas breaking through that entire space with the power of the Book of Vanitas and the Blue Moon. That was such a brilliantly beautiful scene as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the blinding light of hope in all this darkness.
I wish I would have gotten
as corny as that is.
Screenshot. I wish I would have grabbed a screenshot of that, but I didn't. It's alright.
I just want to comment on saying the scene was quick and right at the end, but it was a brilliantly hopeful and beautiful ending after all this darkness and frankly horrible shit Noe had to experience in his life.
Yeah, I gotta say, we don't know much about the charlatan's actual character, but I really like their methods. The conniving villain that exploits weakness and acts like they're trying to comfort. I really like their matter of, let me exploit this darkness within your heart.
And that also explains a weakness of the charlatan we didn't know before. The charlatan simply doesn't take your name. He needs to convince you to give him your name.
He needs to talk you into tongue fucking him. Then he's got, yeah.
Because otherwise, why wouldn't he simply just take it? I mean, sure, he might have been playing with him, but I think it's more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone who has been taken by the charlatan was deceived and convinced into giving in to his wants.
Yeah, it's literally just, here's all your past trauma all at once. I can make it go away if you give me your name.
It is a very tempting offer if you're being forced to experience it at a breakneck speed. I do have to mention one thing that I kind of thought of quite early on. Domi putting a fucking collar and chain on Noe is even more fucked up knowing his past. He was a goddamn slave for a while. And she knew that, and she knows that. Why the fuck do you put a collar on him?
I think it's a pet play thing between the two of them. I don't know. They seem close enough to where they've probably experimented a bit with themselves.
I feel
so.
like this is a pre-talk thing.
Yeah, either way. I don't know if Noe and Domi has been sexual though. I think their relationship might be there, but I don't think it's quite there yet. From what the flashback's been telling me.
It just, the scene in the carriage with how close they got. Like, I'm not saying they're exactly sexual with each other, but it seems like they're very comfortable with each other, and like.
I mean, yeah, definitely. They've basically known each other since they were like, what, 6?
Yeah, and Noe kind of seemed to be into the collar at some points. Seemed kind of into it.
I wouldn't say he was into it. He seemed complacent.
That's fair.
He's like, well, I guess this is my life now. Either way, I just want to touch on that. I am ready for cards, though, unless you guys have anything else to discuss.
I am, too.
I feel like I have more to say, but nothing's coming to mind, so let's just go to cards.
Very well done. I will start us off by saying, with how much I've been gushing and how much I've been praising their work on the backstory shit and how fucking hard this brutal scene gripped my heart, that's a tough thing to do because I am quite hardened to situations and scenes like this, but this show managed to push through all that and do that anyway. It is a brilliant display of how dark this show can get and how well paced it is and how good their storytelling is. A huge fuck from me.
I'm gonna give this show a huge fuck as well. As far as the serious shows, like the serious shows go on this list, this one is definitely my favorite. I fucking absolutely love it. It is shonen. It is Bones at their best, doing what they do best. I love it. I'm giving it a strong fuck as well.
I don't think I've ever had an episode of a TV series manage to get me to care about a character in a single episode before, and also care about their death in a single episode. Like, I can't even tell you what they did right. It's just, it was done so well. Like, I'd have to I want to go back and, like, dissect every bit that, like, leads up to this moment here.
It's a very hard thing to do. Damn near impossible, actually.
Yeah, they did.
And I don't know how the fuck they did it.
They did the fucking impossible with this episode, and I think that's incredible. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna give it the fuck. The show, like, went from, like, really damn good to even damn better, knowing that they could do one of the most trite things possible and have it be amazing as well. Hello?
I believe that is a trifecta.
Yeah.
Alrighty. That's a trifecta for the case study of Vanitas, episode 5. Let's move on to Remake Our Life, episode 5. Kiyoya and co. participate in the school festival and the Maid Cafe. Kiyoya passes out trying to remember something from the future, and at the concert, Nanako has to cover for a no-show band, and she performs well. Kiyoya is kissed by Shionaki, and Nanako sees it. I am conflicted on this episode.
I'm simply gonna state this first. This is probably the relationship you thought was happening far faster than it should, right, Lemus?
Yes, it is. And, Meep, if you're conflicted, can I attempt to push you over the edge on this one with my argument?
I know what my vote is gonna be, but go ahead.
This episode was fucking terrible. I hated this one. Like, it felt like the first half of it was just an excuse to get our girls in maid costumes. And the other half was just literally the same episode we've seen from every show, every movie that has to deal with something involving music. What? The big band at the concert can't come? I guess the up-and-comer has to go and wipe the floor with their singing skills or whatever. Of course everyone loves it. We know it's going to happen. We know they're going to go up, and we know that that's going to be the end of their arc. We've seen this a million times. It's like that, and also a culture festival episode, which we've also seen 100 times in anything that's Japanese with a school setting. It's just boring. And then we had this dumbass, like, peak to these two's relationship where it's like, we feel like we've had 2 scenes of proper, like, connection with these two. And they're just apparently fucking now. And okay, cool. I thought we were going to get more to this than just that. I don't know.
It was a one-sided kiss.
Yep.
You're kind of blowing that part of.
But she tried it first. When he was passed out, she was the one who made the first move. Then he did it at the end. So I'm like, I don't know.
No, Livis. She tried it when he was passed out, and then she kissed him at the end.
No,
she did. Her. She instigated. No, she kissed him.
No, she kissed him.
Because she was like, "Oh, I was thinking about how we're the same height here," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I do guess we are." And then she leaned in and just kissed him while he was distracted. I think you're misremembering because that was not the other way around. She instigated it both times.
I'm probably misremembering it because this episode was fucking ungodly boring.
And I don't see your point because this episode did quite a lot of things. Sure, it used a lot of tropes, but at the same time, tropes are existing for a reason. They're good story beats. They work well. People like them.
But it was practically copy-paste. It's the same shit we've always seen with no twist. Like, we didn't get any of the time travel twist. We didn't get any of the fact that this was, a school, with the exception of a couple times where they go and, with the exception of this being, like, an art school, so, like, whatever. They go and look at paintings and see a play once, and there's talk of a movie. Like, that's it. There's no twist on it that's pertinent to the show. It's literally just a copy-pasted episode.
Let me say my thought on it. I will agree, the Maid Cafe part I didn't enjoy because it did feel like it was an excuse to get the characters' maid outfits, and the lolly is the worst part of the show, but she was barely in this episode.
The lolly is dead ass just a dollar store Madoka in design.
And I will say I'm not going to say it's going too quick, but I think we needed to see more between Kiyoya and Shionaki for me to be actually invested in this relationship and this love triangle. Because when I saw that scene, deadass, all I could think is, but wait, why? It feels like Nanako should be It feels like of the two girls in this love triangle, there's a clear winner, because he's had more scenes, and obviously we don't see all the scenes between him and Shionaki, but it feels like he's connected more with Nanako than Shionaki. I just think we should have seen a bit more between Kyoya and Shionaki personally, but I don't hate that. I'm a bit I want to see where the love triangle aspect goes before I make any judgments, but I'm not the warmest on that. However, the rest of the episode I did enjoy. I enjoyed like especially the last part with the singing. I thought that was really good because it's what she wants to do. She wants to, branch out, and she performs well. And like the whole thing of I finally remembered who you were, Nana, and one of the people he looked up to. Once again, playing with the time travel aspect, and this episode this episode showed another really interesting part. When he tries to actively remember something from the future, it makes him pass out, or at the very least, that's what that scene in the art exhibit was implying. Like, I'm interested in that.
I mean, he's remembered things from the future before without passing out, so I think that's a different point.
But that's why I said when he tries to actively remember, because the other times he was like, "Oh yeah, I guess."
Oh yeah, no, it's been triggered. He's like, "Where do I know that name from again?" And then he tried to remember it. You might have a point with that, actually. Yeah. I've heard both your points on it, and let me cover the entirety of my opinions on it. Yes, the Maid Cafe is a cheap point to get them in maid outfits. It's a thing that I go, all right, whatever, and then kind of ignore, like I do in just about any anime, because that for me is the tired trope. The covering for someone who couldn't show up in a band. Sure, it's been done before, but it isn't as tired of a trope, and it actually has a point for the character instead of he who hears fan service that are in maid outfits.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, with that trope, at least it advances something that's been set up. Like, I can say one good thing about this, at least.
Yeah, so I don't see why you focused to kind of shit on the fact that they use that trope and not the maid trope. Sure, Culture Festival is a thing that happens in basically any school anime because it's covering the daily life of someone in a school, and basically every school in Japan has a culture festival. It's just a thing that happens. Every school is going to have it.
Yeah.
It not being there would be weird.
But it feels like it happens and nothing of interest besides, like, the concert thing, like, actually matters to the greater story at hand. It feels like an episode that could be cut and nothing of interest would be... well, with the exception of, like, one point, nothing of interest would be, like, lost.
Well, sure, you could cut that episode and still probably have an idea what you do in an episode. That could be said for just about any show, no matter how great. You could pick an episode out of it and go, cut this, you'd still be able to figure it out. You would still miss things.
Usually the bad episods, because everything should have a purpose.
I mean, bad episodes or not, every show kind of has that, because it could even be a good episode. You could still just cut and people could still figure out kind of what's happening. The episode itself still was wholesome and cute with everything that was happening. A lot of the things they were talking about. And my opinion of the entire thing with... God, her name's Nanako, right? The blonde-haired girl? My brain just kind of forwarded on that.
Her name is, Nanako. That's the blonde.
Yeah. Just Nanako's not even stepping up herself, having the thing thrust on her to perform, and running away because she was not ready for that, and she was not accepting of that, only being convinced once she's been confirmed that there are people who are not us, who have a responsibility as a friend to be gentle with our opinions to you, in a sense, and people on the internet still also compliment you on what you are doing good, that you could do better. You got a lot of views. People like what you do. And that is a confidence boost if people you don't know can be influenced or give you compliments on your work. Because those are people who don't have any obligations to give you any compliments in any way, but still did so. and that means that that is a wholehearted, entire compliment of what you have done. That is someone who has no invested interest in giving you a compliment. And that would, for anyone, would probably be enough of a confidence boost to get them to not be nervous and perform in a sense like that. You'd probably still be nervous, but you'd still be able to perform. I think the reveal that she is Nana is great. And when it comes to the love triangle, I think it's probably one of the best set up love triangles I've ever seen in an anime.
But it's so obvious that he's gonna go with her idol, with his idol. How is that well set up?
Because he respected both of them from his previous life. And at the same time, it's set up that, well, the best for, in my opinion, is because these girls both love this, both like this guy. Maybe not love yet, but in most anime, it's just, we have no idea why the fuck they do that. In this anime, we know exactly why they do that, because this guy is selfless and cares deeply about these people and helps them at every turn. He's such a supporting guy. How the fuck would you not have any invested interest in a relationship with him? And while I don't think Nanako had any thoughts or feelings for him previously, but once she saw Shiroaki taking the plunge and being aggressive and putting out there what she wants, it's not him instigating anything. I don't think he ever imagined a possibility where he would be able to get with his idol, but his idol decided to make something happen there. That sparks.
Honestly,
that sparks some jealousy with Nanako visibly.
Honestly, I'm just happy they didn't fucking cuck us, because I remember when the scene when she was about to kiss him, but then he got the phone call, I had the visceral reaction of, oh god damn it, not this trope. And then at the end of the episode when they kiss, I'm like, oh, they actually went for it.
Yeah, and,
but then
with when the original kiss got cut off, it's clear that Kyoya was moving in for it as well in acceptance. But at the same time, I don't think he's quite mentally made up his mind of what he wants to do. He has clearly not made any moves or hints that he is wanting to start a relationship with any of them, because I don't think he ever thought that was a possibility. And now that he clearly has some clues that is a possibility, I'm interested to see how he reacts.
I kind of got the sense that he's been a bit hesitant to push forward anything like that because he doesn't want to make another choice he'll regret.
Him taking the plunge and being courageous in the choices is the entire thing he's been doing. He is refusing to not make a choice and regretting not having made the choice. But at the same time, when you look up to someone for so long, you don't really see them as someone who's available in any way. Even if you were to get to know them closely afterwards, they're on another entirely other level. They're a person who you look up to, who you respect, who influenced you and made you who you are. And him being in that situation, it's interesting to see how, because he's clearly just wanting to help them. He's wanting them to become what he has seen in the future of their potential. And I think he also didn't want to form a relationship with them because maybe that would fuck up what they become and ruin their potential in his mind.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the only thing I would have preferred is just if we got some more scenes with him and Shinoaki, but I'm not like vehemently against it. Like, I'm interested to see where it goes. It's just from what we've seen, the whole thing, I was just kind of on Team Nanako, if I'm being honest.
I mean, so am I. I think they're a better couple. But at the same time, it's not shipping him and Shiroaki yet. It's still a possibility because just because Shiroaki was the guy who looked up to doesn't mean they become in a relationship. I'm fully expecting that anime nowadays have seen those tropes that, hey, the person that you looked up to the most is the person you end up with, that they can kind of pull the rug under our feet and switch it up somewhat. But at the same time, I wouldn't discredit either, because he also clearly likes Shiroaki. And what we've seen so far is that he has still just been he hasn't even thought about romance. He's just been helpful and trying to be a nice guy and try to make sure they don't do the same mistakes he did in his previous timeline. And Shiraki clearly enjoyed that about him, and she made the first move. We know that she is clearly interested in starting a relationship with him.
Yeah. I do hope going forward it plays a bit more with the film school aspect. I want to see more of like the actual classes, the processes they go through. Like, I don't want this just full stop, okay, romance time. Like, I'm hoping the romance can carry on into showing us these processes, but
Here's the thing, Meep.
Yes.
I believe we're gonna get a class of filming and stuff next episode that is going to be hindered by the acts of what happened this episode.
Yeah, it better get back to that, because I feel like I've been baited with this show, like much harder than I got with Detective. Where it's like, oh, this show is not gonna be what it sold me the last couple episodes, the first couple episodes, I should say. Because
I'm just waiting.
I don't care about this dude's romantic relationship with these girls. I care about literally everything but this, and this seems to be where it's gonna go. So, like, I don't know.
Like, it played with those aspects a little bit in these last episodes, with him trying to get her to be a better singer, and that was interesting enough. It's just I want to go a bit more in depth with it, and we've been talking about Shinoaki and Nanako, but we forget there's a third player in this. Kase Sagawa they also kind of hinted a little bit with the sister going, "Oh, I wasn't implying you liked him. Who said that?" And then she's like, "Fucking bitch," just left.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that, but at the same time, I don't think she's quite formed any romantic feelings yet. I think that is simply admiration of what he has been, of his hard work in a study that she is herself very invested in and does hard study of. It's gains respect, gains kind of mentality there.
Uh-huh. With that, are we ready for cards?
I've been left to talk about I've been kind of let loose to talk about the shows for 10 minutes straight. So yeah.
I'll go last. I want to be suspenseful.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Liam, you go first.
Yeah, like, I feel like there was absolutely nothing of what I originally liked about this show in this episode. This is a low point in the series if we are going to continue it, and I feel like if it keeps going on this point, I'm going to be very disappointed. I fucking hate love triangles. I think it's so infuriating to watch. So, like, if the show just becomes, ooh, it's a love triangle, what of the three girls is he gonna choose by the end? But also, don't forget he's a time traveler. Like, no, that's not what I want. I want to see him going through and, like, creating shit and struggling with the fact that he is actually a time traveler. And, like, that he's working on knowledge that he might not have to act on or something. I don't know. Just, I want more from the time travel, and I want more from the setting of the film school. I don't want... Ooh, is he gonna take the blonde girl, the blue girl, or the redheaded girl out on a date? You know? So I'm gonna kill this because, like, I feel like I'm very disappointed. I'm incredibly disappointed in this show and where it seems to be going.
And meanwhile, I'm in the complete opposite corner here, considering this the best love triangle I've seen probably in any media ever, being set up in a very realistic and understandable way in the way it happened. And at the same time, I think this... everything that happened in this show and their personal relationship and this guy, his romance and the friends he makes and the way he decides to act is what makes the actual film students' work more interesting. His filming and all the work there. We saw it last time with the other guy, who I forgot his name, how their creative differences caused a shift between them as people and kind of worsened their friendship until he apologized earnestly, and that caused a issue with the production. How is either choosing one girl or ignoring both of them, or one of them being jealous, not going to fuck with production in any way, and seeing them overcome that hurdle is what's going to be interesting to see how they solve and still make a good product, even with the interpersonal problems they have to deal with. I don't think this is betraying everything it was. I think this is simply adding to what makes the show great already. I'm fucking it. I think this episode was absolutely amazing.
Makan, you do not know how much I want you to be right now. Like what you've just said, if that's where it goes, it's gonna win me back. But as of right now, it has not instilled confidence in me. I hope it goes that way.
I can see no other way it wouldn't go that way, because it's not like they're going to stop with the filming. That's like them working on like their project at school is the main together, and what that means for them as people is kind of the main part of it. I don't see it going any other way. Honestly, and if it does, well, the show has wasted its grand potential it's set up.
Yeah, like honestly, I feel like that I could honestly see like this anime pulling where it's like, oh, this is just a background thing now. This is the focus of the show now. This is where we are, and that's it.
Now, for my vote, I've been burned by anime before. Anime that started out really promising, but as soon as a romance got introduced, they dropped everything that anime was and just went, okay, this is romance show now. Who's he gonna get with? I desperately want you to be right, Makan. What I want out of this show is kind of what you want out of the show, Linus. That seeing him make and create things using his knowledge of the future, and this episode gave me hints towards that, of how if he actively tries to remember something, it might mean he passes out, knowing the Platinum Generation. And then the actual music scene itself and how he's helping these people that he once looked up to, he's helping them grow and develop much sooner than they probably would have. And it's all fascinating. However, there were some tropes that were used this episode that make me very concerned for where this anime is going to go. The Maid trope, all I could see is this show going to start delving heavy into like tropes on their base level? And this is definitely my fear of having been burned by anime before. I am going to fuck this episode, hoping that the romance is used in a good way whilst also servicing the plot. But I don't want the show to just drop its plot and go full into the romance. I desperately want, and I even to an extent think you will be right, Makan. If I, for a second, thought that there was no way that would happen, I'd be killing this episode. But I think you are right that it's going to go that way, and I'm going to fuck this episode.
Honestly, I was gonna laugh if you'd kill it, because you know it'd go on the wheel. And you know that Duke would live again. You know Duke would live another episode.
And I would throw myself in the lake and never come up again.
See, I would be lying to myself and everyone else, because I'm also gonna... I thought you two were both gonna kill it, actually. If this show died, I would have still continued it, because I want to see where it goes. But that is 2 fucks and a kill for Remake Our Life.
Alright. What? We're about halfway through, boys. You think we were good for a break, or do you want to keep going?
I'm good to keep going if you guys are.
Yeah, I mean, if we just want to keep going through all this, it's just do you need a break, Levis? Because then we can take the break.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
We have 3 shows left. We could just go through them, and then we could be over with the podcast.
Yeah, actually, I think we should maybe take a break. I just realized that I am actually kind of hungry, so...
That's fair enough.
If everyone's fine with that.
Yeah, that's all right. Run away and run off and get some food. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. I guess my last shot is actually out of continuity, so I should, like... Oh, right, that's why I have it out of continuity, because the rest of it's just the girls in bikinis. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'll risk it.
You're not big enough to hit you.
Why wouldn't it be okay to show them in bikinis? They're not naked.
You don't know, man. Like, deadass people have gotten shut down by Twitch because they have a animated avatar of their character in a bikini. on screen on like stream.
But they're okay with the hot tub streams.
Yeah, I know.
And-
That category is fucking bullshit. It's dumb. I hate it so much. It's only
Twitch
allowed
staff?
because it makes so much fucking money for some ungodly reason.
Simps, more like Twitch staff. Am I right, fellas? But
We're not allowed to say Sims. We're only allowed to say Twitch stuff.
Oh my god, you
Ah,
guys are
right.
definitely gonna get me banned now. I can't believe you're saying slurs on my channel.
Ha!
are we ready to read back in?
Yeah, no, just this first. Yeah, you can't make fun of how little sex someone's having on Twitch anymore, but they didn't say anything about how much sex someone's having. So for God's sake, Meep, tell your mom to close her legs.
Oof. Rude. Anyway, let me read us in as soon as I find what I'm looking for.
Do it any time. I probably already cut. Because that last conversation was funny. I'm keeping it in.
I stole
Move on
that
to-
conversation from somewhere else. I'll steal that joke from someone else. I'm just telling you that right now.
Let's move on to Girlfriend, episode 5. Nalia turns down Milika, so she decides to live in a tent in his backyard, simping for him. However, the adversity of the outdoors proves to challenge her, but through the power of determination and simp donations, she perseveres. Nagisa and Saki attempt to seduce Nalia using their feminine wiles. And I'm not gonna lie, this was the most I've laughed since episode 2. This kept the jokes coming in such great ways. The Twitch streamer became the simp.
So,
Nah, yeah, I love how she's just like, I'll live in the same roof. I'll pay you. I'll pay for internet. I'll pay for electricity. I'll pay rent.
I don't condone two people living under the same roof unless they're married. It's like, what the fuck? What about roommates then?
Unless they're in a relationship. I mean, I guess he doesn't condone that.
I didn't expect this dude of all to be that much of a prude. Come on.
Yeah, I love how she's like, how the fuck are you so proper?
It's so fucking great. She just lives in his backyard. And they're just like, should we call the cops? She's like, no, stop.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking, like, right before it was said. I'm like, oh, yes, thank you. The show is aware.
They're like, do we just have her arrested? Because we could do that. And just like, well, I don't want to fucking arrest her. That feels a bit harsh.
I gotta say, like, last episode I said I did not like it because I felt like the dynamic was getting stale, and I was hoping for this new girl to spice some in. Like, add a bit of spice. I was not expecting this much spice. I am very happy with the direction it's going. It's really pulling it back out for me.
Yeah. Limus went back to, called over the waiter and said, hey, can I have a bit more spice? The fucking chef came and just dumped an entire bowl of chili on your fucking food and then left.
It's so fucking stupid. It's just stupid. It continues to be stupid, and it's great. This show at no point tries to be intelligent, and that's its biggest strength.
Hey, do you want to know a thing? The gang was the shared singular brain cell gang. You want to know what the funny thing? They're still the shared singular brain cell gang, even with the addition of this girl.
Yep, and it's fucking great, cause they went. I loved the scene at the end. I know it was like a bit tropey, like, oh, they're in bikinis trying to seduce them. But it's great, because Nagisa goes, I want you to stare at me more. He's like, okay.
Just instantly stares at her tits.
And then Saki's like, fine, I'll do it too. Tries to hit him with her tits. She's like, they're not big enough. Yeah. It's fucking stupid. They're fucking dumbasses, and it's great.
Also, I realized I realized something about this episode. We've got the trifecta of socks here. I need to remember the name of the characters real quick, but yeah, Saki's got the thigh highs. Saki's got the thigh highs. Nagisa's got the anklets. Rika, the new girl, whoever her name is, has the knee highs. And the best friend of Saki's wearing the tights. So we've got full representation. I don't know why I pay attention to this.
It's an interesting concept.
Oh, I'm so happy you two seem to have enjoyed this episode.
Now, I wrote down all my fucking things I enjoyed the most. One of the best part is just a fucking massive casual burn the guy gives her. I still don't fucking remember his name. Just when she's like, "I'll stay out here until you fall for me," I'm like, "You can't live in my yard forever."
It's great. Naoya is just a fucking himbo. He's fucking dumb, but he means so well. Cause, like, even at the start, he's like, "I do find you attractive, but no, I can't. I love my 2 girlfriends."
And then when she's like, "Oh, you just wanted to protect you from creeps," she's just like, "No!" And it's like, "Yeah, no, it's clear that's what it is." And he just went, No. She says that's not the case, so that's the case. And I'm like, this is gullible motherfucker!
Oh my god.
I love how her affection for him is not anything romantic, and it's now for hate. It's like, no, I will get you to love me, and we will hate fuck.
I mean, it's just spite. She's just angry that she's like, "Oh, I've built up this vision of myself that I'm the perfect girl that no one can say no to, and this guy has fucking shut her down about 30 times at this point, and that has just shattered her fucking fragile ego."
And I love it. I love that he doesn't just accept her blindly, and then, he's rejecting her. Like, I feel like any other anime, she would just be like, "Yeah, sure, you can join my harem." But instead, he's like, "Nah, okay. I'm dedicated to my 2 girls already. Fuck you."
Yeah, he's like, "Okay." Well, but here's the thing, like, why he wanted Nagisa, because Nagisa was crazy about him, and he's like, I mean, just telling you to go find someone else won't solve it, because you're clearly invested in me. How the fuck do we solve this? And this girl is like, "Oh, so you just want a boyfriend? Well, I'm sure you'll find someone soon. You don't need me for that." And that's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense, actually, compared to the last person who asked him out.
Yeah, and it's so good. I love Saki continuing to be just fucking no. There's no trying to hide her intentions. She's just so bold. Like, she's showing him all the flags. Like, seriously, I want you to dick me down like a deep dick pizza right now. Now, yeah, just do it.
Yeah, no, fucking she is fucking crazy horny, like we learned from her fucking search history. It's all just sex.
Yep, and it's great to me just knowing these two have been childhood friends until now they're actually dating. Just, and fucking dumbasses.
I do want to point out, like, I fucking love it's strange how I love this joke. It's such a fucking tropey joke in really, but just she throws off her jacket and it's like, "I have this to offer, my G cups!" And then Saki's just like, starts rattling off the alphabet, is like, "Wait, hold on. What do you mean G cups?"
Just look at her counting the alphabet on her fingers.
Yeah, and then Nagi's just like, "I lose."
If they do it with such an energy. If this show wasn't as fucking over the top as it was, it would not work.
Yeah.
Like, there's another show on our list that does, dumbass comedy, and I think the reason it doesn't work for me is because it doesn't go over the top like this show does. Like, I kind of think that might be why that one doesn't work for me. But this one just goes so over the top, my brain overlooks any, like, "Oh, this is tropey. Oh, this normally wouldn't be funny." It's like, no, they're having fun and give such an energy to these jokes. Yeah. It just makes me laugh.
The way to tell if a show like this is gonna be good is if you watch an episode of it and you could imagine the fucking animators and storyboarder just fucking making howler monkey noises during the entire process. It's gonna fucking work with this shit.
Yeah. And we mentioned how every girl has a no brain cell face, but have we not mentioned how every girl has that shrieking face, like Saki when she found out Naoya wanted a threesome, and now Milika with her shrieking face with the bugs.
Oh yeah, it's the show just like it had one dip in quality, and now it's right back to the good shit. Like
I feel like that's kind of how it's gonna handle it. It's gonna like kind of start going a bit stale. Then the fucking blonde girl comes in. We're gonna get like 4 more episodes before it kind of starts coming stale, and then Saki's friend joins the relationship, either as a person trying to break it up, or somehow gets roped into it. I have no idea how the fuck that's gonna happen, and I'm interested.
it's like it's such a good dynamic that like it's an interesting new dynamic that we haven't seen before. And I'm assuming we're gonna get the same with Saki's girlfriend. Like, I don't know. I have no expectations for the show anymore. I don't know where it's gonna go at this point. Like, if I had to make a guess at the end, if I had to make a guess at the end, it was gonna be like, oh, okay, Naya's gonna accept them as their girlfriend or whatever the fuck. I'm fucking up my sentence structure. She's gonna come in, she's gonna do streamer stuff, we're gonna have more jokes with her bouncing off. No! She gets fucking rejected, she's camping outside until he accepts her. Fantastic!
And with how much this guy sticks to what he says, like, his word is his bond, and then when he says, like, well, you can't just live in my yard forever, that's a fucking final statement, like, is she ever gonna join the relationship?
I hope she doesn't. Yeah. I honestly kind of hope. Like you can see in the Edie. You can see in the Edie actually. Like there's like with the text and stuff, and like as soon as he gets a text from her, like you see both of our two mains like being mad at him. Like I can't describe it well, but you can show. But like pay attention to the Edie. Like I think that's gonna be where we're going.
Yeah, and like from the ED as well, like Saki's friend has kind of been like looking at them like, "What the fuck are you doing?" So I think she will kind of be trying to break up the like poly relationship because it's like, well, that's not how a relationship should be.
I think she's gonna be that like trying to break them up, and I think the blonde girl is gonna get in on it. Like, oh well, I could be your girlfriend if you're not dating either of them.
Yeah, but fucking hell. We can speculate that, but like I can't even feasibly imagine if that's gonna be the case or not really.
Because my original thought with Saki's friend was that she was just gonna be a hardcore sapphic, and like she was gonna get roped into this relationship, but be all into it, but not with Naoya, but with Nagisa and fucking Saki. But now I don't know. She could just try to break up the relationship, or I don't know. It is great. The show is great. I love it. I am fucking this show. I'm sorry jumping to cards, but just what else is there to say?
Yeah, no, I think we're at cards, and at the same time, my only prediction I kind of have, if she has to join the relationship in my speculations and somehow, is that Naoya kind of like falls in a bit for her the length she goes to become in a relationship with him. Like, oh, I didn't realize that this relationship meant so much for you. But at the same time, I don't think that's really gonna happen either. Because I mean, if that's the case, he already would have done that. I'm still fucking it. I want to see what the fuck happens, and I have such a great time every fucking episode.
Yeah, it's just fun.
I am so happy that this show got randomly selected. Like, I'm surprised by how much of a legit good time this show is. Like, I'm gotten to the point where I don't even think it's trash. I think it's just good comedy. Like, it's getting completely snuffed by everyone. Like, everyone's overlooking the show. Like,
oh,
it is, like, the most overlooked show of the season, I definitely think. And I'm so happy I'm getting to experience at least the episodes that we've seen already through this podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, talking about it with you guys has been like the highlight of this show, really.
Oh yeah.
Same.
Trash gang getting together.
Trash gang.
And I wouldn't say it's overlooked. it is fourth. It's the top fourth of the amount of people watching. It has over 147,000 members. It's underrated, I would say.
Underrated, definitely. It should be at least above a 7, like on Mal.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
totally.
yeah.
Like, I don't think it
'Cause-
deserves 6.60. Like, that is ridiculous.
But here's the thing: I think everyone who watched it are the fucking the majority of people who watch it are the fucking higher brow weebs of like it should have more interesting things to say and be more deep in its topics. No, it's just a fucking dumb comedy with some great humor. It's all it's supposed to be, and it's all it will be.
Yeah,
I'm gonna admit something. When this show gets a physical release, I'm there for it. I want this on my shelf.
That's a good one. And like, I think people might shun it because they don't want to be the person who's like, well, have their friends point out like, oh, why do you like this? The show seems quite fucking weird, being just a fucking power relationship of a guy getting 4 girls if that happens, and it's just like having to explain it. But at the same time, who the fuck cares? It's just good comedy. It's just like, why do you like this? Watch the first episode should be your answer.
Yeah,
I think it's good comedy. I just think it goes like. When I say it's trash, it's crafted trash. It's not trying to be anything profound, and that's what I think makes it good. Everyone knows what it is. Everything is intentional, and it works because of that.
Yeah, I mean, Meep, you've always said like it has a shoestring budget and like all that, and I would agree. It's like this is like a bargain bin gem.
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is like when you just like grab a random movie that looks like garbage from like the $5 bin, watch it, and it's the most amazing action thing that you've ever seen.
Yeah, or just a brilliant fucking comedy. It's like watching, like looking at the the promotional art, reading the synopsis is just like, oh, this is just another harem rom-com. No. It's so much more. It's just a fucking great comedy and the most stupid fucking characters in history of anime.
Yeah, and it's just feel good fun. And sorry, I didn't mean to take that away from you, Lewis. What's your official vote?
My official vote's fuck. Like, yeah. Like, I was super, like, going into this episode, I was like, okay, this might be the time when girlfriend finally gets a kill from me. And then it was super not. All I have to say, besides that, there's 2 things from my notes I realized I missed. 1, she orders things off of Amazon.
Yep.
And also, that Milika seems like the type of gal that after a dude nuts in her, she says she reminds him to, like, comment and subscribe.
Fuck! God damn it! Oh. Oh. Oh, God.
It's another joke I wanted to touch on after she was just working out the entire night to keep herself warm. And she didn't just freeze to death, and then in the morning it's like, there, are you impressed? He's like, just go home and take a shower. I love how much of a no fucks this guy's giving. It's just like, are you impressed? You fucking stink.
Yeah. And I loved it. And because something I've realized, whenever the show like does one of its little transition scenes and it's 2 of the characters doing something, that's how it shows it's transitioning to a different chapter.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was reading the first little bit of the manga and I was like, oh, okay.
That's
you
really
guys are just realizing this?
I mean, I thought that was just like the middle of the episode commercial break transition.
Oh, well, there's
Before
like multiple. Usually there's not multiple.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't really realize that there were multiple episodes. So okay.
Oh, I guess it just moves that fast.
To me, I just kind of like, whenever I see something like that, I'm like, oh yeah, here's where the commercial slides in if you watch it on television.
Before I thought it was just separating segments or plot lines. I didn't realize it was actually, no, this is separating a chapter. So I thought that was really cool. And the other thing I was going to say is, I fucking love the segment where Saki and Nagisa are wearing their swimsuits, and they're just like, wait, why did she have her swimsuit?
Yeah. Why? It's great.
That is a trifecta for girlfriend. As much as I'd love to talk about this show for all of eternity, let's move on.
I never even gave my statement, but it's fucking obvious what it is.
It's obvious for all of us. We love this show. This show's great.
Yeah, no, Meep, don't apologize. I didn't have to say it. It's clear what the fuck my choice is.
Okay, that's a trifecta for girlfriend. Episode 5. I am intently curious to see what the fucking end of this FMK is gonna be. There's a real chance that all three of us might marry it. Depending on how things go.
Here's the thing, we have so many fucking good shows that I'm like,
Yeah.
I can see all three of us marrying 3 different shows.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'd be funny because it'd be thematic with this show, but like, man, I'm stupid in love with Vanitas though. I don't know if I could give up that.
I guess we're just gonna have to find out.
Alrighty, let's move on to a show that, the energy for you two is super gonna tank. The Duke of Death and his Maid, episode 5. The Duke's sister pays him a visit and teaches Alice her charm while also cooking with Rob. The witch and her friends show up and ice skate with Alice and the Duke before telling them that they will bring them to the next Witch's Sabbath. Viola and Alice have a sleepover. Really, same thing I've said about the other episodes. I like seeing the characters interact. I put this show at a solid 7 for me. Like, it's nice seeing them interact. I enjoy the relationship that's forming between the characters. Viola is starting to grow on me a bit. I'm liking his sister, and like just her new friendship she's forming with Alice is sweet. Seeing Alice interacting with someone who isn't the Duke was interesting because the two of them seemed super codependent on each other, but seeing that she can still interact with anyone but him was nice. And seeing the witch's friend and the witch again, and getting that thing of, hey, next blood moon, we're going to the witch's Sabbath, just sprinkling that little bit of plot to look forward to. I don't know. I enjoyed the episode.
They're sprinkling like, hey, we're gonna go there so you can maybe find the witch that cursed you. Finally, 5 episodes in, the plot gets moved forward from episode 1.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at. Like, that's literally all I have to say.
I do have something to say. How the show pissed me off meta-wise twice in it, and it's real stuff that makes me real annoyed. First one is not as egregious. It's at the beginning of the episode where, in the first 5 seconds, Alice basically goes, "Oh, the outfit you're wearing today looks great." And I'm like, it's literally the same outfit, but orange shirt instead of red. What the fuck are you talking about?
I think that's just supposed to be a joke.
I guess, but I just find it annoying. I'm like, all right, well, have the clothes be different than just a fucking orange shirt instead of a red one. The other one is more egregious because this is like the 8th canonical time, 8th time Alice would have died canonically if there was any logic. When he was just grabbing onto her sleeve and they were ice skating, and the guy in the front just stopped, the momentum would have carried him forward, so he'd bump into her and she would die.
I did think that was a bit weird, but at the point we're in with the show, I've kind of finished looking too hard into that part. It's like, it's whatever. Anime, the way it last moment.
I will never be able to start looking past that because this is the entire point of the show that he can't touch anyone. And sure, you find workarounds, but maybe you fucking shouldn't risk the life of the person you love at every waking fucking moment of your life.
Oh, okay, I have one more thing I need to say. And it's a good thing, so don't worry, Mead. I thought, like, when, like, they're doing the baking scene or whatever, and Alice sort of does the, like, ghost pat to the back of him, I thought that was cute. And kind of funny.
Yeah, it was quite cute, but at the same time I just went like, I guess that's the point, but it doesn't really comfort him in any way. At the same time, though, I do have to say I like the other witch, I guess magic user, because it's not a guy, it's not a woman, who had the bird face. I found his personality quite interesting. I enjoyed the joke, and he's like, "How the fuck can't you like tits?" I'm like, "I'm more of a thighs man myself," and then I was just taking notes.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. That's like, I think that was one of the first times the show made me laugh out loud. Like, that caught me off guard.
It didn't make me fucking laugh out loud. Maybe give me a shot to that. I was like, "Alright, Joe, good job."
Yeah, exactly. That was a good joke. And like, yeah, nice to see that the Duke is a fellow man of culture. Besides that, like, my only thoughts throughout this episode were like, God damn, girl, like, you gotta put on some socks or something. Like, your legs are going to be freezing cold out there like that.
Yeah, we don't know how insulated that dress is. Probably
But
not at all.
But the witch who's wearing nothing but a skirt,
yep.
she's getting frostbite. God damn.
I mean, the entire point is that she, like the fucking bird guy said, she doesn't have a thought in her fucking head, and apparently she crashed and almost froze to death in the ice before Alice found her.
She also has fire powers, so...
I mean, sure, but I mean, she almost froze to death.
Yeah. I'm able to buy that, like, oh, she can just create a little puff of flame below her skirt or something. I don't know.
Ah, yes, start the flame right in her cooch.
Yes.
Apart from that, the entire, like, scene with the Duke's little sister, I forgot it, Viola, and Alice was cute. I kind of enjoy her being like, oh yes, I know all the charm techniques and everything, and then just fucking breaking in front of Rob. It's fun to see how just extremely nervous she gets. It is quite adorable, but at the same time, the pacing is still awful in the show. It had me looking at the time several times because I'm like, all right, I mean, how much longer are you going? When is the fucking end? I'm only halfway through.
Yeah, like, absolutely. I feel like if more was happening, if it was being a little bit more proactive with trying to solve the curse or whatever, I might actually like this show. Because, like, the humor in this episode was passable. It wasn't girlfriend, but it was passable. Like, there were some funny moments to it. But, like, nothing's happening, so I don't really care.
Yeah. Do we have anything more about the episode to talk about, or should we go to cards? Sure.
I'm good to go to cards.
I'm good for cards.
All right. I'd like to start. As much as I'm kind of interested to see where the show is going, where now that they're actually moving the plot forward after fucking around for essentially most of 5 episodes, it's kind of already lost my faith that it's going to be paced in a proper way. And the main joke of the entire show, which is Alice sexually harassing the Duke, got old at the end of the first episode. And I feel like that's going to be the main cause of everything that happens in the show. And I have not found it fun, and it kind of just is straining on me every time it happens. So I'm going to kill it, because I am, regardless of the small bits of comedy I had, I'm still groaning with fucking annoyance and basically cringing whenever the fuck there's more sexual harassment jokes.
I don't know what anyone else was expecting. I'm going to fuck this episode. The CG continues to grow on me. I like the characters well enough. I'm happy seeing Alice interact with more than just the Duke. It's nice to see that she can have, conversations with people other than him. Because I was a bit worried that it was going to be a bit of like, oh, she's super codependent on him, but they're codependent on each other, but it's not to the point where they can't function away from each other, which is nice. And I'm gonna fuck the episode.
I'm pretty sure we've seen Alice talk to people through the entire thing without the Duke there.
I think we had the one other witch she talked to in the festival episode, but aside from that, it's only been her and Duke, really.
I mean, she's talked to people during the festival alone, she's talked to Rob alone, she's talked to the witch alone, she's talked to Viola alone. Like, there's a lot of cases for her. The Duke, not as much.
Limus. What is your verdict?
Kill. Like I said, it's just so far gone for me. Like, we got a crumb of a bit of plot, and that was about it. We got a couple funny jokes, but it's not enough to carry the whole episode for me. So yeah, I'm gonna kill it, and so far, as less as it looks like, unless it seems like Black Company completely drops the ball, it might finally die.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Black Company to get the double life and Duke lives another day.
I can't wait for them to both fucking live.
Double kill and a fuck for the Duke of Death episode 5. Let's move on to The Dungeon of Black Company, episode 4. Ninomiya is approached by debt collectors and is forced to start a monster farm to pay off his debt. Black Company is attacked by a Majin, and through a series of plans, defeats it, with Rim killing the beast. And after the battle, Rim and Ninomiya get isekai'd.
So, seeing as you end on the Rim and Ninomiya gets isekai'd, the portal, like he said, is similar to the one he got transported there with, which has me questioning, does that mean he's going back to Earth with Rim in tow? Or are they simply getting teleported somewhere else? Because that sounds fucking wild!
Sounds incredible! If he gets isekai'd back to his world, but now with a fucking dragon!
See, I have one doubt about that. There's a member of the ensemble that hasn't shown up yet, and is seen in the opening and ending being in their mining world, so I have my doubts, but...
Maybe it's only
it's
unlikely, it seems.
It is possible that somehow they get acquainted back on Earth, and she gets isekai'd back with him or Rim. I don't fucking know where this show is going anymore.
Yeah. I gotta say, one thing that I grew to love over this episode is I'm really liking the relationship that is forming between Ninomiya and Shia. Like, I think they're perfect opposites. Like, it is literally work smarter, not harder, versus work hard, don't think. And I think this is going to make for some great moments in this series.
Yeah, mindless workaholic to the best advice I've ever gotten from a teacher during my time at school, which is work smart, but lazy. Because if you're lazy, you find the ways to get... if you're lazy and smart, you find the way to do the quickest and most effective work, so you don't need to work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think it's always been a brilliant fucking way of putting it in my mind. And Ninomiya follows the exact same thought process.
Yeah, and it's like, I can see that he's trying to, like, break down Shia's walls and sort of be like, no, man, like, you're completely brainwashed by this society and by, like, this image of your dad. Like, you don't have to do this to yourself. People don't have to do this to themselves to succeed.
Yeah.
It feels like a little bit too much of a character shift from when he originally started, where he's like, let's brainwash everyone. But honestly, I could see it being more character development than out of character talk.
Here's the thing, Lewis. He might actually... I think if anything, if it is that he cares about her, it's that how much he loves freedom himself and how he wants to be unshackled by responsibilities of work and society. Seeing her being shackled like that makes him want to give her that opportunity. If we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt of having a good heart. Personally, I think he's simply saying what needs to be said to brainwash this girl from where she is right now to the way he thinks so he can use her better.
Possibly, but I kind of want to read a little bit more heroicism into him.
Yeah, like, at the same time, like, I can see both of those things I said there being functionally what's happening. Because maybe he's just saying what she needs to hear so she will be easier to manipulate, but at the same time, her struggle is what Ninomiya detests in life himself. So why the fuck wouldn't he want to help her escape from that?
Yeah.
You know, Ninomiya reminds me of Kanye West.
Wait, how?
No, I won't elaborate.
I see. And I'm gonna say myself, Ninomiya reminds me a lot of myself. A shrewd motherfucker who does whatever he wants and is kind of an asshole, but through actions of his own morals and what he thinks is right, might help people because of it.
Just my favorite thing about this episode is the hero lady being like, I will self-sacrifice myself. Go on, Ninomiya. He's like, no, don't use it on me. And then just picks it up and yeets it at the monster.
Yeah, he's like, no, fuck you, yeet!
No, fuck you, we're gonna fuck over the company with this. Goodbye. Sorry, mate.
This bitch empty, yeet!
I got a chuckle out of that scene, I will admit. And
Yeah.
I don't have much investment in this show, so it's not like it bothered me, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention something from a writing perspective would normally bother me. They introduce the whole debt collection thing, but they solve it in a offhanded comment in like I started this monster farm and I already paid off my debt, and it felt like a dropped Chekhov's
He
gun.
didn't pay off his debt, he paid off his interest.
Yeah, like, I think it's gonna take him a little bit more than that to just do it. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I do feel like that is sloppy, because it felt like that was where the episode was going, and then it just kind of goes away.
Yeah.
Though I definitely think it's gonna come back later.
It should definitely had a scene of him actually paying his debt and having like, yeah, I fucking coughed out the money. You didn't think that, did you? And her being like, huh, I guess he did. Well, you still owe us like 50 million. He's like, ah, yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Because he just paid off his interest. He's still racked with debt.
Also, her stepping on his dick was super like the noises it made when she slammed her foot down made me wince and recoil.
I think that's kind of the point.
I know, but Jesus Christ. I don't know, maybe the show is slightly winning me over with time. Although maybe it's the Super Cub effect, where my brain knows it's not going away, so may as well enjoy it.
Ah, yes, the Super Cub effect. Also known as the Stockholm Syndrome.
Yes.
Let Stockholm Syndrome take over. The show's actually good. You just need to see.
This show is a fucking trash fire, but it's the kind of scheming, evil, fucking character-driven shit that I just love. Because I love seeing kind of bad people succeeding. He's not a bad person. He doesn't really harm people in any way. Sure, he did some scummy shit, but in the general, he's gotten profit for his company, also benefiting the group he brainwashed. And now he's making this shit, which is generally just benefiting himself and the close friends he has. Friends with a heavy quotation mark, mind you.
I'm feeling the Lelouch effect happen here with this dude. Like, yeah, you're an asshole and your methods suck, but god damn if I don't, like, want to see you keep going till the end, and I want to see you succeed. And
this guy being a fucking battle commander was fucking amazing. I loved it.
So you think Wanibe is gonna assault the table Chan?
Yeah, definitely.
Totally.
No doubt in my mind.
He's gonna fuck that table.
Maybe this show will win me over, but at the same time, we're watching like 7 other shows every week, 6 after Duke dies. I don't know. I'm already getting my trash fire comedy from another show, and this show, like I said earlier, I think the show would be much better if they came at it with a higher, like, if they were a bit more over the top with it. I think it would work for me. I definitely think it would, but I don't know.
While Girlfriend is a light-hearted trash fire comedy, this is a black-hearted trash fire comedy in my mind. Because it covers a lot of fucking shit in a fantasy setting that is the problem in the real world. How fucking people are especially in Japan, how people are worked to death for little to no fucking gain. And it's just, yeah, you gotta work because the company needs you to work. what do you get from it? And you don't get fucking anything. We just need you to work more.
Dude, like, I honestly think this was written in mind with a little bit of social commentary and spite towards Japanese work culture, 100%.
And if I had if I was living in Japan and had a job that was crushing my soul, seeing this motherfucker break those chains and kind of go hog wild and fuck over those companies, that would be the most cathartic fucking thing ever.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's like at least a couple salarymen who tune in every week to watch this motherfucker and gets just all kinds of catharsis from it.
Maybe it's my own, like the whole soul crushing work aspect of it. Actually, one of the things is to turn me away. Like I already feel soul crushed at my job because the whole, like, I think about it every now and then when I'm working there, and it just kind of depresses me. It's like, oh, there's always going to be more shelves to stock. There's always going to be more customers to serve. There's never going to be an end. This is an eternal thing that will never be solved or stopped. And it's just depressing to think about.
So how is it not cathartic then, me, to see this guy who is in the same situation you is in, but with higher stakes and more lethal matters at hand, and through his fucking grit, determination, and wit, is fucking crushing the place that is depressing him.
Because I like my coworkers and my bosses for the most part, and I just, the whole idea of fucking over my company would also mean fucking over them, and that.
Well, here's the thing, me. You see the screenshot here? He has his friend and his boss with him here, and stringing them along his wild plan. Let's go.
It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
That's fair enough, but I fucking love it, and I had a job for a year, which I had a lot of fucking responsibility I had to do, which made me feel horrible. I was in the worst mindset of my life working there, and when I quit, I simply took 2 months without looking for a new job and just existed. And I realized I wasn't myself for a year. And that is a scary feeling. That I just kind of rolled over and accepted the shit pay, the shit treatment, and unreasonably high responsibility for really no reward. And seeing this guy not taking that shit I took lying down is... I feel like that is something I needed to see to kind of, in my mind, get revenge on what happened. And I am getting a lot of catharsis simply seeing that.
I feel like I don't quite have the same experience there, but, like, definitely, like, you know, stuck in a crappy job, feel like I'm not actually my own self with it. Like, I definitely get that. But, like, the thing with that job is that it was temporary and it only, like, lasted for 2 months, so I had, like, an out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I like this series. It just feels like brain-off fun. With some interesting characters that I definitely like.
I will say, if I wasn't getting my fill of dumb fun and over-the-top humor from another show, I probably wouldn't be as... I don't know if I'd like this show, but I probably wouldn't be as harsh on it. It's just... It's the whole thing that you were having a couple weeks ago with both Aquatope and Remake limits, where you were getting the exact same thing from one, and you just felt one was enough.
I get that totally.
And that and a bunch of other factors is kind of, I don't know. My relationship with this show is weird.
Yeah,
I can tell.
I think I see kind of why I enjoy the show, and you might not. I'm a very spiteful person, but I don't think you are.
I can be spiteful to people who I think deserve it, but at the same time...
Here's the thing. You can be. That is my gut reaction.
Fair.
Yeah, but generally for why I enjoyed this much and how soul crushed that job made me, I think I met you guys while I was still working there, and through the time you guys have known me, have my kind of mood not improved?
When you were around Popo, you were generally kind of like how you were now, but when it was like, because I remember there were a few times where it was just like me, you, Dal, or me, you, and Limus in a call back in Dust Town, and I would notice like your mood kind of, like you said earlier, when you're around people you don't really know, your mood, you're like, you and Limus were talking about earlier, and I'm mixing up the words.
The mood where it's just like, I don't know you,
Yeah.
go away. Ah.
Yeah, but there's the thing, like, when I'm on the internet, I actively try to make friends and put my best face forward, because when I'm either playing D&D or interacting with people I meet with other friends, I know it's people I'm gonna like, or at least have something in common with, but at that point it was just impossible to do, because I was just angry, constantly. Either way, enough about my personal life, shall we go to cards?
Yeah, I think we could be good for cards. What do you mean?
Cards?
I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind after my gushing on the show. I absolutely love this. This is just cathartic and stress relieving fun for me, and I want to see more. I'm fucking it.
I am gonna fuck it as well.
I'ma kill it. The show doesn't do anything for me. I'm at least out of the stage where I was with episode 2, the Marxism Ants episode, where I was just like, I actively hated my experience with it. Now I'm just kind of in the point where I just merely exist while the episode happens. Maybe I get.
I think we've kind of had the same kind of downward then upward slope with two different shows. Me with Duke of Death, and you with this show.
Yeah, and I just sort of merely exist. Although I will say there was one funny point with this episode for me. This was just for the meta. I felt like 20 or 30 minutes have passed. Like, okay, how far am I into this episode? I looked at the screen. I saw 8, and I actively like felt a pit in my stomach. I'm like, I'm only 8 minutes in.
My exact reaction with Duke of Death.
Yeah. That is 2 fucks and a kill, meaning the Duke of Dead People has been murdered.
Finally!
Let the bells ring out in the street! The Duke of Death is finally dead! Its curse has ended! We couldn't let it get one more wheel. If we would have given it one more wheel, I'm pretty sure it would have survived again.
I would know the results of that, and I couldn't let that happen.
Limus, test it out now. Put Remake and Duke of Death on the wheel. See what gets picked.
You know what? I'm gonna open it up. God damn it! I have wheel picker.
I mean, the thing was closer to getting 2 knives. No, I think like Duke of Death and I think Remake and Aquatope was close to be there, because if it didn't catch Limbus on the upswing, and I decided differently on my feelings of it, I feel like it would have been up there as well. While we're doing that, Maid, what do you want to discuss during the graveyard?
Well, I actually wanted to talk about Tokyo Revengers a little bit.
I have not been watching it because I'm waiting for it to finish so I can binge it.
I won't go too into spoilers. I just want to talk about its episode 17. Episode 17 is one of my favorite and least favorite episodes. Now, I know that sounds weird. What I loved about it, it had one of my favorite moments from the entire show in the last 7 minutes. However, something it started doing recently, it has like a 3-minute to 5-minute segment recap every episode of the previous episode. It's been doing that a lot lately. And they've also been doing something that I have been enjoying, where they continue to reiterate things we already know. Like remember how in the first 2 episodes, Takemichi kept going to Hina and being like, I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you.
Yeah.
He started doing that again.
I see.
And on top of that, it continues to It continues to, even though over and over he keeps getting told, yes, Kisaki is the person who has done all of this. It's so weird to me how he keeps getting surprised learning that Kisaki is a bad guy. It's, I don't know. It had one of my favorite segments, but I feel like the pacing needs to speed up a little bit.
That's fair enough. While I haven't kept up with it, I'm only talking from what I could imagine happening. Like, it might simply be a surprise of just how horrible this shell of a human being is. But I can't say that completely because I haven't been watching it as it's releasing. But
Yeah.
let's do this mock spin of the wheel and see if Duke would have lived again.
Hell yeah, gamers.
I'm just imagining that one, that one meme where it's like first time and the gallows. That's just Duke.
Yep.
All right, spin.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me!
Oh, we made the right call, boys. Let's go.
We made the right call. Holy fucking shit!
Yikes.
Oh my god, it would have lived again. Holy shit.
Fucking oof.
Oh.
Oh.
Right calls were made. We made up for the last 3 episodes with finally a right call.
I made the wrong choice.
I made the right choice.
Okay, what a way to end it. Unless anyone had any other things like the Graveyard Tour.
Other than that, My Hero had a really, really good episode, and a really good moment with a character they've been giving redemption arc, but I don't want to go too into detail with that.
Wait, do we just talk about some things that we've been watching?
Yeah, we talk about the shows we've been watching, if we've been watching any anime.
Oh, sweet.
Apart from the FMK shows, it can really be anything you've been watching, even if it's not releasing during the season.
I can vamp about Madoka now, finally.
I mean, if you've been watching it recently, yes.
Yeah, because Madoka Magica Side Series has a second season, and it was really good. People trash that show way too much. You should go watch it if you like Madoka, because we got to see the main girls again, and it was really good to see them all together and fighting witches and stuff and doing their thing. It was really good. That's all I have to say, really. I love that series. I love that series to death.
I've never had an interest in watching Madoka or even beginning watching it, but hey, I mean, I'm glad for you that you got more of the thing you love.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have nothing to say about the Graveyard Tour because I've not been watching any other shows than the ones we need to watch for the FMK. I'm quite swamped and busy recently, and watching more anime has not been possible. I still have 3 shows that have 2 episodes left on to finish that I should probably do at some point.
Finish Jujutsu Kaisen. It has one of the best season finales I've seen in a long time.
How about I hit you with a no?
Oof.
Well,
No, I will at some point. I'll probably find the time either during this week or next week to do that.
Fair.
Yeah. And with that, are we gonna plug ourselves and laugh off? What? And
we usually laugh off, really.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So I'll start, I guess. You can't really find me anywhere on the internet because I really don't do anything publicly apart from this show. I am on Twitter at @that_Viking, where I really post nothing about myself or any shit I do. Yeah, the only posts I've done is response to some of my friends, and that's been 3 posts in total, I think. Yeah, there's really nothing you can find me. It's usually just me. If you're actually looking for any posts I do, it's usually just me threatening Meep whenever he calls me out for being a good person, which is lies and slander.
Hold on. Is it?
You get
Did
me?
you block me? Did you block me on your SFW limits?
What? No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I swear I haven't. You can find it through my NSFW, which
No.
none of you can find, by the way, unless you're particularly shrewd.
I'm sneaky.
Why are you looking at my SFW meme? What's happening?
You'll see in a second.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh god. This is a bit. Okay, I don't have to cut this out. I guess while Meep's doing his bit, I'm gonna plug my stuff. You can find me spread far and thin across the entire internet. You can find everything I'm on at limits.card.co, or you can find me on websites such as Twitter, where I'm retweeting stuff about Sanrio characters getting trapped in saw traps.
Okay, I have no idea what that's about. That sounds fun.
Ooh.
Oh, that tweet's been deleted.
Wait,
Yeah,
Saw
I mean,
Trap,
like-
you mean like the movie Saw? Or the
Yeah, like
fucking
the movie
game
Saw. Like, I'm
Yeah.
talking about like an adorable little bunny trapped in a reverse bear trap.
Okay. Alright, Meep, you gotta plug yourself, or is this bit taking a while?
You can find me at soul_king777, where I am currently calling out the two of you. But do not follow me if you're a minor. I will hit you with La Chancla, which is Portuguese for a slipper.
Yeah, and with that, I think that's our episode for the day, for the whatever day, week. So yeah, I guess we'll see you all next week. Same time next week. Bye, everyone.
Hell yeah. Bye! Thanks for coming.
Hello, gamers.